A galactic civil war spreads across the stars. From the heights of Coruscant to fiery Mustafar, to fight the evil empire, for people join the fray. These are the heroes of the Hydian Way.
Welcome to Heroes of the Hydian Way. This is a Star Wars actual play podcast, and we're playing in Edge Studios' Age of Rebellion when we're playing. This is Arc 3, Question and Answer, episode part 2. Number 2, something like that.
The second.
I'm Andarta, and I'm the GM for this adventure. I'm using she, they pronouns.
I'm Erica Goodwitch, and I'm playing Norrin Gremian, they, them, engineer scientists.
I'm Henry, I use she, they pronouns, and I normally play Isacel An.
And I'm Joy, I'm she, her, and I play Keitra Javik, she, her, that's a sharpshooter. Pew, pew.
I'm Semi, pronouns are she, they, and I play Vadalorn Cursed, also she, they. They are a courier.
And I am Leslie, I play nothing.
That's not true.
Completely not true.
I play shenanigans.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Accuracy met.
That almost sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Let's be honest. I play host because I have a list of questions.
Mm.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Good.
Do it.
But I don't know that that's where we want to start, because I have in past been given questions, and then we hear from our lovely GM with just kind of a State of the Union.
Our admirable GM, our affable GM,
Amicable?
Yes.
Amenable.
amicable GM, appreciative GM,
Appreciated.
Auspicious?
Appreciated.
auspicious, yeah.
Also suspicious, but you know.
Yes. I mean, one thing deserved to hit at the top because, well, here we are. Yes. As you've heard, and it has been circulating a bit from different places. I know it's been said on the Force Majeure podcast when I submitted questions, things like that. And also, if anyone actually pays attention to the show notes that come with your podcast and like file names, things like that, I have been slowly in the textual frame, but now in the audio frame, I am updating my name on account of I'm now using Andarta as my first name. And like this is for the fairly expected region of, well, I'm transgender and I'm transitioning. And I am starting voice training, and we'll see how things go from there. See how I sound at the end of the next arc, especially considering I'm doing all these wondrous voices. Because Trellway and Hookman and Azee and Jones and Lone and all of these are going to still be around. Because, well, I like them as characters. But I was wanting to mention that at the front because I have actually gotten a few questions just sort of privately, and I thought might as well make it completely out there. And also, I'm now going to be, as was done last episode and is being done this episode, I'm just going to be using Andarta from now on. As for the show, we have our cast for Arc 4. And it will be doing some, at least to start with, a nice, relaxing escort of a Huttball crew.
Supposedly.
Well, no, they play Huttball.
Like, for once, no secret second reasoning. It's just, take these people there. It'll be great.
I mean, there wasn't any secret second reasoning in our first 3 missions.
Are we sure, though?
Yeah.
Norrin is, apparently. There is another notable change being made to the show, specifically.
Mhm.
We did have to say, for the time being at least, goodbye to Zach. But we are bringing on Sammy, whose name I forget. Obviously not your name, but character
Sammy,
name.
yeah, Sammy is my people name. Vadalor.
We bring people named Sammy,
Yep.
who are
So, yeah,
playing.
my character name is Vadalorn Cursed, a
Valdemar.
Lisette courier.
Because yes, the Lisette obviously needs to be able to move even more.
And obviously, we have to replace one spy with another spy.
Yeah, I noticed the vibe.
Hey, nobody said spy yet.
Yet.
Okay, the concept of a courier is one that I personally love, as a spy or otherwise. But I know nothing about it in the context of this game, or anything about a Lisette. So
You watched Rebels?
no, I had to walk away from Star Wars for some time because my brain just said no. So I have not watched most everything. So 7 foot tall and purple
Yes.
and hairy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
For courier, the big two big inspirations for the character was Johnny Mnemonic and Faith from Mirror's Edge. So, sensitive document transportation and doing parkour in the process.
I mean, that sentence alone is enough to sell me on everything about this.
Yep.
That's pretty epic.
And the reason they don't wear boots is because Lasat can climb basically any vertical surface. They are.
Mhm.
I was about to say the goats of the Star Wars universe, but that would be the Godel. So
Yes.
Or the Grand.
legally
Actually, both.
yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Shen didn't wear shoes either.
Shen did wear shoes.
Shen did wear shoes, and
Yeah,
that was what was
a
weird.
part. Yes.
That was
the
okay.
weird part.
That was. I was like, I feel like there was a shoe related thing there that I couldn't remember. But well, welcome to the party. It's good to have you here. It's a little madcap, but you'll adjust, I'm sure.
How hard can it be?
It depends on the dice, if I'm completely honest.
Do you want it spicy at times?
That's a very polite way of putting it.
I mean,
Yeah, but spice gives it flavor, and I love a flavorful dice roll.
No.
to be fair, Sammy has had a bit of experience with D1.
I've done the math. I have statistically bad luck.
Actually, yes.
I love that you've done the math.
Arguably, the sample size is a little low, but
I'm working on it.
well, now you're in another of my games. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited to play with Sammy because my husband's got to, and so now it's my turn.
You're like, dibs.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah, the Mecha Hex stuff on Force Majeure is just wonderful.
That is truly a blast. The blast being my reactor.
True
I
enough.
was going to
Nice.
say literal.
I mean, yes.
Yep,
I'm
my
also excited.
reactors take a dice roll, and I've done the math, and I have terrible luck.
So do I, but it's okay.
As long as you fail forward.
Yep, and that's what I love about this system, is no matter how hard I fail, there's always threads to make it interesting.
I like the way you're looking at it. Just quick aside, consequently, because we don't have Zach here, Philbert asked a couple of questions related to Shen. We're going to have to skip those. But we do have access to one of the questions. We have the people we need. And we're going to hop just in there real quick. Talking about side missions. Filbert66 says, loved the side missions introducing Norin and Shen's family members. Any plans to do so for Isazel or Kidra?
Well, yeah, I'm interested in this question too.
Oh. Would
I
you
know
say
for-
you're invested?
Absolutely.
I'm interested too in this answer because it's a DM answer.
Like, I'm interested. To be real, I was gonna say it's like Isasel's brother that she's mentioned, and her adopted parents have been ones that like I do think about every once in a while, going, I wonder if I could do something with this in the side missions in the future. I just have not had a lot of time to think about it, but those three are like, Lunala can meet some new people.
Yeah. And Lunala's efforts to get as involved in rebellion as her family apparently is. She's feeling left out. Could meet some new pilots, maybe. She's smuggling herself off Naboo, and who's the perfect people to do that? Her siblings' girlfriends' moms, maybe.
It's a very interesting set of 6 degrees right there.
I mean, this crew is a very interesting configuration of 6 degrees as it is. Yeah.
What about Kidra?
Well, my family, most of them stayed back on the world because one of my brothers died to the Imperial, which set me off to go and do what I'm doing currently, what Kedra's doing. So she does have a sister, but she has another brother who's a deadbeat. He's lazy and doesn't do anything. So, I mean, if he did do something, it would surprise Kidra, hugely surprise her. But we're a hunting family, so like everyone knows how to hunt and everyone knows how to do all that, like huge on that. So I don't know. Like she's like the first of her family to go off world. So I'm not sure if my family would come up into it, but she does bring a lot of her background into what she does. And she does have that drive to stick it to the Imperials because of what they did to her brother. So like this whole shooting them this last time, like, yeah, she wanted to kill them because they were going to kill innocent people, but also like inside she was really excited to kill them because they killed her brother.
I mean, it makes a huge amount of sense. I'm just, yeah, like long term, it would be, honestly, it'd be cool to bring in Isazel's moms and to bring in some of Kedra's family. It's then, okay, how? And that's going to be the question to answer. Or so at least in the immediate, like the next arc, probably not Kedra's family, but it is an interesting one that I'll probably noodle at. Isazel's mom's not quite sure at the moment. Most likely it would be an Arc 5 thing, just on account of Arc 4 initial stuff is fairly set. At least for the initial part of where things are going, what silliness is going to happen.
Silliness, yes. I'm familiar with that word coming from your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It could mean basically anything.
It's not like I've said that in this next arc there will be a ballroom scene or that there will be space vampires.
You just keep dangling that in front of us.
I mean, that's a pretty impressive carrot right there.
It's such an impressive carrot. It makes me want to, like, what's the stick?
I mean, D1?
Anyway.
I think kind of tying back to the comment about Kidra and the revenge. I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around on the questions here. But Adam from Force Majeure says, following the actions of Kidra and Shen so far, it feels like you've been collectively dragged into the rebellion whether you like it or not. How do you feel about that, and what do you think the impact is going to be on your continued employment with ISR?
Kidra started mainly because of her brother. She wanted to find a way to stop them from doing more killings on her planet. And in the process of doing that, she became part of the ISR, the ISR. And she's part of the Codfather. And she's really enjoying this, being part of something that makes her feel like she's greater than what she is. And Shin really helped her to get a sense of herself outside of her family. So going forward with what's happened in recent events, I think she's going to have a shift a little bit in her personality. Like, she's going to mature a little bit more because she just like pretty much killed her friend in her mind. Like, that's how she feels. She shot him. They left him, and she doesn't think that he's going to survive. And so she's going to have a little bit more of I lost my brother, but I killed my friend. And so it's a little bit, she's going to try to direct that a little bit more towards helping everyone else. But yeah, I don't think she's going to go and join the rebellion. Like she might have initially, like, because that's something like dear to her, but like now that she's lost her friend, I think she'd be more apt to stay to protect her new family.
Interesting. Arc 4 really forced us to confront something that I have been waiting for, because when you go back and you listen to our initial character introductions, it was hilarious to me, because it was Kidra, Izazel, and Shen all being like, yeah, the Empire sucks and we're here 100%, we'll fight the Empire. And then you get to Norin who's just kind of like, the Empire's kind of racist, I guess, and kind of dodges the question. So I love this arc so much, and I love seeing where we go from here, because that was the story I wanted to tell, was someone who has so much to lose, and isn't particularly like personally motivated to go up against the Empire, how they become radicalized in a sense, and getting to explore that a little bit more. But yeah, this question in any case has been answered by the Muriel arc, so lovely.
I mean, what do you think the impact is going to be on your continued employment with ISR? I mean, you didn't quit. That was stated.
I feel like we're going to get promotions.
I didn't quit. I do want, Norrin is going to be requesting like official policy guidelines just so that they can have that to work off of, because they are questioning ISR a little bit.
Okay.
And like what is expected here or is not expected.
You mean to be able to corral Kidra? Kidra, that's not in the rules. You can't do that.
It's not that Norrin wants to keep us from being rebellious. It's that Norrin wants to keep us employed.
Yeah, and keep us safe. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a job that's not. Keeping us safe is the job we'll never succeed. Keeping us employed, that's something you can succeed at.
Well, maybe keeping alive, if not safe per se. Do you have anything you want to contribute, my dear Isazel?
Oh yeah, it just I love when we gave that order of letting Kidra go off. It's like, for Isacel, the way I've had her look at it, it's just like fighting and pushing against this force almost seems like something she wouldn't be able to fight against anyway. It's like it's an inevitability. It was gonna happen in this galaxy. Like, the more she interacted, the more she saw, I will eventually butt heads with this. And now it's just like, here we are, but luckily Norrin exists to keep me employed and not go too far. And not immediately just go full into a rebellion. Just like, no. I have things to steady me. And to keep my paychecks coming in.
to maintain funding.
Yeah. Look, those grants, they're not, you got to fill out so much paperwork. Know how much a tractor beam cost?
As
Tractor
Tris Leche said,
came in so handy.
expenses. Running up quite the tab.
Yeah, we needed a brand new hyperdrive. That's not cheap.
Yeah, there's a reason why the ship was laid up for so long. That one could go off on a nice trip to Muriel and then have another one follow.
Could choose between walking away and keeping jobs and... Okay. I'm gonna stick with Adam here for a second. Since he layered his questions here. On that note, if you had to choose between walking away and keeping your jobs or joining the rebellion properly, what would you do? Especially given that if you joined, you probably wouldn't get to keep the Godfather.
See, that's something I'm questioning. Norrin's going to dig into the bottom of ISR.
Because of the Godfather?
No, because I think that even if we get involved in the rebellion, ISR is not going to care.
This is true. We've all had our theories about this, but it's funny because before the Mirialan arc, Isacel would be that person who's would walk away for rebellion kind of stuff, even without the Godfather. But now, post the Mirialan arc, it is she's going to stick around and do what she can from here because she cannot see herself leaving now.
Can't walk away empty-handed, as it were?
No, unless Norrin goes too, she is here to stay.
Yeah, it was
Norrin needs a paycheck.
And a well-stocked
Norrin
lab.
needs a paycheck. But also Norrin has their suspicions about the organization that they work for.
And we're not too disconnected from this rebellion group as we might think.
Yep. Norrin needs a paycheck, but Norrin also was I think that the organization I work for might be a front for rebellion.
So the whole thing with the arc where Kidra met Shin's sister and the rebellion there, she was willing to help. I don't think she'd be willing to stay, but she's willing to help when when they're around,
Mm-hmm.
when they're in the vicinity or when they're needed or called upon. But I don't think she wouldn't up and quit and then be I'm going to join the rebellion. See you later, guys. Because she thinks of everybody as her family now. Though she's not sure now where she's going to fit with Shin gone. But she'll figure it out.
In the front with the gun.
Well, I mean,
Or maybe
beyond
up top.
that. Okay.
he was her cohort in shenanigans, and so now she doesn't have that, and so she's just she doesn't know where she fits in the dynamics of things anymore.
No, I'm sure Shammy will throw a monkey wrench into whatever is being anticipated. Maybe even a Kowakian lizard monkey wrench. I don't know. But
No, an engineering wrench. Oh, wait, different character.
The Breaker Heavy Hydro Spanner. 200 credits and it counts as a beaten stick.
that is always a wonderful thing. It's officially a beaten stick. You don't have to make up stats.
It comes with stats and a boost die on engineering checks.
I wonder why why hit your character, why they want to join us.
Oh, well. In the lore of Star Wars, the Empire did a light genocide on the
Yeah,
on
just
the
a light
planet.
one.
Just a light, not so heavy.
They also did a classic genocide.
Yep.
Diet genocide.
Yeah, so the Empire did genocide on Lasan, the adoptive homeworld of the Lasat people, and notably did so with ion cannons, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Which is would be war crimes if Geneva existed in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So ISR was the ones that got Vadalorn and their family off planet alive. So with their family resettled somewhere safe, Vadalorn stuck with ISR to kind of give back to the company that helped them out.
So that's, I don't know how to say this without sounding really patronizing. Like, that's all well and good. Like, no, that's a very valid source for character motivations. But I mean, there's a lot of very obvious tensions when you look at Star Wars and the Empire, and you're looking at interactions, especially coming from a place of those tragedies, like the loss of a sibling, the loss of a planet, just general Empire stuff. But alongside those things, we're going to pull in another question from Adam just because it's right there. What sort of themes would you guys excuse me. What sort of themes would you like to see explored over the next arc or two? Or are there any particular locations you'd like to visit? That's an interesting pair of questions, Adam, but I understand why you lumped. Anybody, or I'm going to start picking people.
No, honestly, I kind of really want to, especially over the next few arcs, because this arc we started to touch on Isasel being force sensitive, and really kind of want to see the themes of having to deal with making choices from a place of emotion versus a place of thinking about it, but not giving up the emotional connection you have to the beings around you. You're trying to balance that that pure the logic you have to have when you're in charge, when you're a captain or a commander.
Oh, you mean
up...
not throwing your ship full of people you're responsible for into the line of fire because of a vision of people getting hit by cannons or whatever? Like that?
Yeah. See, that was her learning. Because it wasn't from the beginning of that, and then I think time-wise in the game, I think we were only there a week, maybe less.
I think we were there for 2 days.
Yeah, I think we were there for a few days and then had to leave. And it's just the amount of growth she had to have, especially with the Force and having to just think beyond herself and and what she thinks is right and think of the grander things. Those things are the grander what's the right thing to do here.
No, I think we were on that planet after getting shot down for a day.
At least a day and a half.
Yeah.
Because there was the whole back to dunking thing.
The amount of carnage that can be perpetrated in a matter of hours is impressive, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ask Kedra.
Would love to see Corellia, though. That would be nice one day.
Wait, that was on a list.
Also, Isasel's
the GM has a list.
You could
No,
always
that
go
was
to
Shen.
Naboo.
That was Shen who can get back to Corellia.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have Shen anymore.
mean,
Shen
there
listed
is
off a lot of planets, let's be real.
Did the GM take note of every place listed? Yes.
That
Yes,
sounds
I did.
traditional. You tend to have a long memory, even if it is paper-based. Anybody else have themes they'd like to wander about?
Themes.
Arcs. Or just locations.
I mean, just continuing to lean into radicalization. Which is always fun.
Yep,
Right.
I think I'm coming in at just about the right time, because Criff the Empire?
Tracks.
Just
Tracks.
finding that balance of Criff the Empire while also not just be smart and safe about it.
Criff the Empire?
as
Don't
much
get
as you
caught.
can.
Criff the Empire prudently.
Yeah, prudently.
Do you have a place you want to go?
Me or Sammy?
Yes. First one and then the other, and then Kedra.
But we
Or-
went to Muriel, and that was great. I don't know. The only other planet I can think of is Naboo.
It's pretty.
Keitra wants to go to Nar Shaddaa because she's heard so much about it, and she's just never been there. But she doesn't want to work there. She just wants to go for enjoyment and just visit.
Okay, yeah. I like that. I can come up with ways to make that work in so many fun ways. Plus, there is a hunting preserve on Nar Shaddaa.
Oh, that's even better.
I mean, Kedra doesn't know it, but Kedra wants to go to Chilgana. Chilgana is the worst. It is the worst planet ever. That's where
Come
the Nexu
on.
come from.
It has
They're
cyber
awful.
kitties.
Everything tries to eat you, but I feel like Kedra would enjoy
Oh.
it thoroughly.
She would probably help kill things.
It is the planet of the arboreal octopi.
There are tree
And-
rats that travel in packs.
Oh yeah, there are those two. I keep forgetting about the only pack stat block to exist in Star Wars.
Really?
And then also they've got Cyber Nexu. Not just Nexu, but Nexu with cybernetics.
Oh, I like Nexus.
Who drugged a Nexu long enough to slap cybernetics on it?
Buddy, it's a fun backstory and it's its own book.
Yes, it's called Beyond the Rim. I actually really like the adventure.
They sound like they would make good pets.
Yeah, and this is why I don't trust science
That
types.
that game gives you many reasons not to trust science types.
True.
Hi, I am a science type. Anyway.
Yeah, but you're not going to give Nexu horrifying cybernetic enhancements.
No.
No, just
I'm
Issa
not.
Cell, and it's almost as bad.
No, I'm
Can I
not.
keep one as a pet?
Not?
I think Issa
Not
Zell
horrifying ones.
might have
Oh,
some
okay.
requests.
Probably, honestly.
Look, I might be trying to figure out how to put what are they called? A grappling gun in the hand. We're not talking. About
I mean, I've got Inventor and I've got Tinkerer, so like, why not? But I've also got Gearhead and fine tunings for Starship systems. Anyway,
I think it sounds like you're well set up for that grappling hook.
yeah,
Yeah.
3 ranks of mechanics and computers. Like,
I mean, how long before Issa Zell is just go gadget captain?
I mean, she's already the first one to lose a limb. We'll see what else she loses.
I mean, it's tradition.
and Darda has given us so much XP.
She didn't lose
Yeah,
her
I mean-
hand first. Don't lie. She lost her heart already.
You're not
Lord.
wrong.
And if you've taken up vibroblade fencing, it's only a matter of time.
You're not
You know,
wrong.
it's a planet we need to visit, Andarta. We need to visit Ilum.
What's that?
Yes, that'll be fun.
Why?
It's where
Get our
lightsaber
baby
crystals are.
Jedi a lightsaber crystal. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah,
Then the
exactly.
request is going to be for a lightsaber hand.
Okay, that would be cool.
Yeah, I liked it as I said it. But that crosses the boundary into horrifying enhancements, I feel.
I mean, yeah.
Let's see. There's questions we're supposed to be looking at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurley asked, it seemed like there were a bunch of recordings this season with a subset of the cast. How did you guys find that altered the dynamics of the session and the direction? Like, did that change the direction of the story as you were interacting and playing with a smaller cast?
It actually gave us it gave us a bunch of fun moments where it's just like, because we're usually really good, like pretty good at kind of like sticking to like what we're just saying we're doing, or like, and not, like planning based off of what like player knowledge instead of character knowledge because we're all like hearing each other. But when you can't hear the other people and you're just going for it, it changes a little bit because then we have to hear about it later. It's like, we did what? And it just gives so much like improv, like fun to it, where it's just like, oh, I'm reacting to what now? Okay, I can actually react. What?
Yeah. Unfortunately, life came for quite a few of us with a vengeance. So yeah, but I mean, it allowed us to focus in on different character dynamics, which was nice. I don't know. I think there was like at least 2 or 3, like 1 or 2 episodes where I was just sitting there listening the entire time to have like maybe like 5 minutes of just like, yeah, you want to talk to Norin real quick? Hold on.
Yeah. I felt bad about that.
No.
But I really enjoy the dynamic of being able to explore more of personal relationship between the characters when you don't have to worry about splitting the party and the time between the parties because you're doing the recording with one party and then the other party does their own, so you don't hear what's going on with the other people at the time that your characters are doing stuff. So like as a person, like as a player, I think it was really interesting to do that, and as a character I think it's more realistic because you don't always know what's going on with the other group anyways. Like you don't know everything unless they do calm you, and so to have a player knowledge of what's going on sometimes can affect what your player does. Not always, but like subconsciously it might. And I just thought it was really interesting. And then going back and listening when the other teams, stuff was going on, I was like, it's just so interesting to see, oh, that's what they were doing when I was doing this. It's so interesting. And so to me, like, I didn't have a problem with it. Playing the devil's advocate, I did miss like the whole camaraderie of all of us getting together and talking and having fun together. So like I did miss that, but I as long as it's not a permanent like, hey, we're gonna keep you guys all separate, I was okay with it.
Doing like a dedicated, like say recording session or something like that, where we either by like life is life, we're not always able to make every recording session. Well, everyone else isn't. So from a production standpoint, we adapt. And what that does is sometimes characters aren't there, and sometimes we get pairings of characters. And yeah, we're able to separate them and have that kind of cool, well, we split the party, but we actually split the party. And have that work into the characters. The thing from my planning, like, I'm not that much of a planning. Okay, I ran 3 seasons of this running adventures from a book, but I don't plan that far ahead. I normally am planning this is a cool situation to get them into. It's not I'm expecting these characters to do things this way to get this outcome. It's put problem in front of the characters and see how the players and characters figure out to do it. It's wonderful, but so when I've got a small group of, like, say half the characters, then I can take a look at their sheets and say, okay, they've only got these strengths. How do I make them use these strengths in a new and interesting way? And so I try and come up with problems for that. So I kind of like it because it sort of makes me stretch.
Cool. Okay. We did hear from all 3 of you, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically.
Well, coming away from the last speaker, the 3 others that had participated in previous context. It made sense in my head, Erica.
Okay, fine.
Be that way. All right. So, sticking with Adam. I'm going to kind of mush things together a little because we've got 2 questions about the future, which definitely can rope in Sammy to answer along things. So, looking at the question, I'm just going to read the 2 and let you all answer how you want to make it work, basically. So we've got, what do you expect to go wrong on your next job in Arc 4? And how are you each trying to prepare for it? And then alongside that, which member of the crew do you feel you are closest to? And what will you do? This, I feel, might be casting aspersions. I don't know. But what will you do when
Adam knows
Andarta
me.
murders, maims, kidnaps them?
Everything's gonna go wrong.
Oh, wow.
The question is though, which part of everything are we going to hit first? Because something's going to start it, and honestly, I feel like we are going to annoy the wrong person who's probably, you know when you got a bunch of like headstrong characters, and then you go, here's the politician that you're not
Am I
supposed to
headstrong?
like. Okay, there's a couple of headstrong ones, but
Yes.
But yeah, we're gonna offend someone, probably a politician.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to prepare for it. I'm just gonna see what I do because it's more entertaining that way. But honestly, right now I'm closest to Troway, and if Andarta like does something, she's like, "Oh no, I might go to the dark side."
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to get close to anybody yet, but Isisel has made a good first impression with the calf.
I see. You don't like the steak. I got it.
Oh, no. Poor
It's
Kedra.
I didn't have a chance to bring it up narratively.
It's okay.
I am,
Don't worry.
however, a carnivore.
Oh,
Keisha,
that should work out.
Keisha's
Yeah.
a carnivore too. She loves her meat.
Kedra, you also need to have a balanced diet of veggies as a human.
She does sometimes.
No.
Sometimes.
Norin's gonna have to pick up the medical duties. Go ahead, friend.
I was gonna say, like, right now I think Kedra already she was very close to Shen, and so the fact that Andarta didn't murder or kidnap or anything, but like the roles did, and Kedra kind of hurt her own friend. I think this already happened, and she lost a friend. So like, I think that is something that she's dealing with now and going into the next arc. And I feel like that's something that she's going to be dealing with. And then also now that she's got a new person in the thing, she's going to like try to like, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting dynamic to having someone new as well as, watching the two of her friends flirt and stuff, So she's excited, but also like, but yeah, so I don't know, like if anything were to happen to the other two that she's become close to, Norn and Isabel, I don't know, she would, I don't know. And as far as like what I think is going to happen in the arc, I have no idea. Kedra doesn't plan ahead like that. She just goes by, she plans hunts. And if there's not a hunt, she doesn't plan. She just sees where things go and where it takes her.
I suppose for Norin, the obvious answer of who they're the closest to right now is Izazel. They were also very close to Shen. So one of the things that I'm going to be wanting to work on is building a better relationship between Norin and Kedra over the next arc or so. While they warily observe our newcomer. And we'll see how that goes.
Oh, the first time they pop out
Norn's-
of a vent.
Norrin's prickly. But yeah, Norrin's obligation or Norrin's duty, one of Norrin's duty is personnel. So I couldn't really do anything about the Shen situation. Except for, I guess, take strain for it. But yeah, Norrin is not going to take anyone being left behind or sacrificed or kidnapped or anything very well. That is something that they are going to work their hardest to thwart and to rectify whenever it should come about.
Again, I think that's everybody. So just jumping up to the actually very first question. I've been kind of hopping all around, but from Adam, this is the first season with a non-binary character in Norrin. And how has it been with using the they them pronouns?
Just feels more like my day-to-day life than I'm because I'm most of my friends, like in my personal life, are use like they them pronouns, or use like binary and they them pronouns. So it's just like there's like it's more it's like, okay, this is more what I'm used to compared to like at work or in like like where it's just like it's not as many non-binary people, sadly, and it's just like into my Star Wars Gib.
I'm going to preference this with, I'm an English teacher. And so it's hard for me sometimes to remember, and I don't mean anything in offense, like to offend anyone or anything like that. So sometimes I forget. And Erica's been so gracious to like remind me, hey, and I'm like, oh yeah. And it's not that I don't want to, it's just that grammar is so ingrained in me and I teach it that I mess up, and I apologize so much. I'm so sorry that I do, and I try not to, and I'm trying my best because I don't want to offend nobody, and I want to make sure that everybody is heard where they're at. And so, for me, it's not that I don't appreciate you guys or that I mess up, and so I'm sorry.
Yeah, and like I said, like we've had these conversations behind the mask before. Norrin doesn't care if they're misgendered, like in character, and initially I wasn't really noticing it either until last summer. I did like sort of a binge listen, and then it was starting to bother me. So like Joy and I have talked about it and whatever. For everybody else, like, 3 out of the 5 people at the virtual table use they them pronouns, so it's not that big of a deal. You guys may have noticed that I stopped introducing myself in the intro with my personal pronouns because I felt that I am not non-binary. I do not use they them. So I thought that trying to separate or make myself a little bit more of a background to Norrin might help as well. And I don't know. For me, Norrin is who they are, and yeah.
I have a sticky note on my monitor that says Norn, they, them. So it helps me. But yeah. But I don't know, like I don't think like that's something like, I don't know, I think it's just part of who you are. Like I don't think this should be such something that is like, I don't know, like to me, like when I teach pronouns and when I teach stuff, like I'm just like, when we talk about people, we should accept them for who they are, no matter who they are. Like you shouldn't judge people on anything. And I don't know. I think it's really cool. I'm really excited. But Norrin isn't the only non-binary.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of cool. I was excited to play with you all.
That's good. That's what it should be at the table. We're here for the people.
Yeah.
And the stories that we tell with the people. Do you have anything else you wanted to add, Andarta?
No, well, it has been with the just sort of gentle reminding in that that's gotten voiced with the people, with different players at different times, remembering, and that it hasn't been any sort of mean contentiousness. It's just been something that's sort of been there, and felt like something that we should at least address. So we've addressed, and I appreciate all y'all for doing that.
I do have a fun English language fact.
Uh-oh.
Singular they has been in use in the English language longer than the singular you.
That is true. Yeah.
Yes.
I have no transition, so I'm just going to ask a question.
I got pills for that.
Sammy's good at that.
Beat me to it. Thank you.
So, I'm not really sure how I should be saying this because I'm abandoning Adam. I love you, Adam. But London Louise? Louise?
I think she pronounces it London Louise. Yeah.
Okay, London Louise. We're gonna go with that vote of confidence. There is wondering what is your favorite outfit of the series. It does not specify yours, so if it's not yours, that's fine. But if it is yours, I expect a lot of detail.
Funny enough, not mine. I've had a couple of good outfits, especially in the Miri Allen arc. We added some more, but Norin's outfit from the Miri Allen arc, the kind of like punk emo kind of like vibe that Norin had at their home. It's like that moment of just like in my head was like, yep, Issacel's gay. Yeah. They're in love.
For my lovelies who haven't listened to that episode yet as we record this, yeah, Norin wears the same thing, like very professional, like collared shirt, work pants and boots, and their vest. But on Muriel, Norin was wearing like a black tunic top with leggings and like all of this makeup and jewelry that they normally aren't wearing. Yeah, just to make Izazel, gush a little bit. And there'll probably be some of that. There'll probably be like punk t-shirts worn in the lounge or anything in the upcoming arcs and stuff. But I think, because I don't remember what any of y'all wear at any given point, but I do remember Jones's cape.
The cape.
I like the
Yes.
monocle.
And the monocle, yeah.
And the monocle. Is there a top hat as well?
No, it's a bowler, I think.
That's a bowler
Yes,
hat?
it's a bowler.
Yeah, and a magnetic mustache.
That moves.
Yeah.
Like intentionally?
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
as if he's speaking.
Dramataz.
Yes.
okay. I wasn't sure if it drifted or if it wiggled.
I'm always sort of envisioning two different sort of tear shapes for the mustache that move up and down at the ends when they're talking. Like it's very much
Gotcha.
a animated sort of look.
Okay.
Though, of
No,
course,
that makes perfect sense.
Shen going back and forth between Hawaiian shirts to spy mode with the turtlenecks.
Oh yeah,
That
Well,
was a
I-
fabulous turtleneck.
yeah.
Shen
I
was
think
the
with-
only one out of you guys that I actually had an idea of what they looked like, because I thought that Kidra was an alien for so long. Only to be like, wait, she's been human this whole time?
Yes, she's been human. And she wears a hunting outfit like all the time, just very like low key, like black pants and like a nice shirt that's more like hunting and like keeps you warm when you're out in the cold and stuff. She doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles clothes. She's not really big on that. But I think one of my favorite things this whole season was when the M&Ms wore their hats.
Oh yeah.
I loved that. It was so great. They got the hats, and I just that just made that episode so fun for me.
Yeah, I've really liked doing things with the M's just because they're small, they're silly. Like they're Pitroids. They're supposed to be silly. The entire reason why they got put in was because they're silly. The whole pushing the button on the nose to get them to expand and shocking Jar Jar. Like, that was amazing.
They were walking prop comedy.
Exactly.
Yep. And then Norn speaks binary, so
Mm-hmm.
Would you say the M's are going to be your favorite from the season, or do you have something else alongside the cape, or
No, Jones's whole look.
just the whole vibe going on there?
The whole vibe going on there.
Yeah, mine is
Okay,
the M&Ms
idea for
hat.
Norin. We get what the
Mhm.
cape does, put it into Isasel's coat. Because she does have a long coat that I regularly get her into.
So you want a D&D billowing cape. Got it.
Yeah. Look, I watch a lot of anime, okay? We all need a flowing coat.
I mean,
For dramatic entrances.
Oh yeah. Even when there's no wind, it's just going.
Seems fair. Sammy, you got anything you want to throw in there?
Well, having binge listened to the entire series in preparation of joining the crew, the outfit changes have just been chef kiss. It's infrequent that you hear people describe their characters over and over, let alone their outfit. And the aesthetics is so important to everything, in my correct opinion.
Subtle.
Wait, friend, I need you to describe these for me because I don't remember them outside of Shen going back and forth between turtleneck to Hawaiian shirt.
Oh goodness, not being put on the spot. I definitely remember. Oh goodness. Okay, so I'm reasonably confident there was a leg cut dress somewhere. That was good.
Where?
Honestly, I could have hallucinated it. Look, when I say I binge listened to the show, I mean I listened to or start to like last week over the course of a month.
That's
I
pretty
couldn't-
impressive.
That's
couldn't-
pretty impressive, actually.
yeah.
I couldn't
That's-
imagine Keitra or Norin wearing a leg cut shirt.
You know what? It was probably Shen. He could pull it off.
Was it in the intermission episodes?
It's possible. Now I'm second guessing my memory.
That's because everybody was looking at you, metaphorically.
Yeah. Oh my! Can't believe everyone's listening to me right now.
It's the danger of being on this podcast. Haven't you heard them all say, we like sitting and listening to each other do stuff? This is part of your future. You're going to be picking out outfits next.
Oh, it's
Yeah. We've
Gotta
get
have a
that.
makeover episode or a shopping trip. Come on.
Yep. On that note,
Lunala's going to come for a
yeah,
visit.
you will never see Vadalorn wear sleeves.
Rip off all the sleeves?
Yep, even off my spacesuits. It's not conducive to being vacuum sealed, but you know, I got to stick with my aesthetic.
Norin is going to kick your butt.
For health.
You'll have to catch me first.
For health and safety.
Hear me out. See-through sleeves.
Or just print like the biceps on the sleeves.
That could work. Spacesuits only.
Yeah.
Au naturel for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to be an interesting conversation down the road. Did you have anybody else you wanted to bring to the table, Antarda?
Honestly, Shen's turtlenecks have just sort of left an impression, and Yeah, ever since I found the picture that we based Jones upon, I've been slowly trying to figure out what Trellway looks like so that I can get fan art done or commission art to get done. So I've been looking and trying to figure out who and what beyond just, oh, yeah, he looks like Asterion. I've been trying to figure out really what Trellway's wearing beyond, like, what does this former Imperial, who is now just able to be himself around this crew, is now willing to do? It's like, okay. So, yeah, no, the thing that has absolutely stuck with me has been, because this is the way I think, the leather coat that Isabel normally is wearing, Keetra's fashion accessory that is her sniper rifle, and the spy turtleneck of Shen has been sort of the three things that have just stuck with me, because they're sort of the things that keep coming up.
I think that's a pretty solid collection. And I mean, if we're going to round it out on a personal note,
Yeah.
one more from Adam. Okay, what small things do you each have or do to bring you comfort when things are starting to get too much?
In character and out of character, I usually fiddle with a like either a gem or rock or some sort of stone in my hand. Just like a little piece of earth, whether it's obsidian or a big chunk of rose quartz. I usually have some sort of like piece of earth in my hand to fiddle around in. And you know what? Spaceship Captain from the Force would probably have that in her pocket.
Hmm. Norrin's got their bunk, and they've got music. So if things are too much, they lock themselves in their bunk and they play music. And that can be rec punk, and that can be Halixek music, and anywhere in between, depending on their emotions, I suppose. Erica can typically do the same thing of just sort of putting in her headphones and listening to her Spotify playlist, or like just finding some sort of comfort game or book or something to distract herself. And also just friends.
Friends is good.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you guys can guess what Keidra does.
Is it
Clean
shoot
her gun.
things?
Yeah, she cleans her gun. She cleans her guns or go hunting. She's like, I need to get some of the aggression out. So she'll go hunting, or she'll clean her gun and make sure it's ready. It's calming to her because it's something that's part of her. So for her, it's like, I'm doing something that I really enjoy, which is cleaning this. It makes me feel safe because I know that all the pieces are clean and ready for use, and I'm doing everything the way that it's supposed to. She just feels comforted by that. And hunting is always a comforting thing, and a way to get out her anger or feelings that she might otherwise not know how to deal with. But joy, when life gives me that type of thing, when life just gets a little crazy. So I'm religious, and so I usually pray or read the Bible, but I also like to read or play video games. I turn to my friends. For me, it's really important to surround myself with people when I'm having tough times, because I didn't have that growing up, and I used to bottle everything up, and it would not be very good for me. So I've learned that I need to seek out friends and seek out others to just talk with, and maybe just to get out my feelings and things. I think it helps so much when you have supportive people. And I did something in my life and got rid of toxic people in my life, and that has helped tremendously. I highly recommend getting rid of people in your life that aren't there to support you. Like, if you give 100%, they should be given 100%. you shouldn't have people that keep taking from you. It should be
Mm-hmm.
a give and take. And I had to learn that. And so for me, it's like I get on games and play games with my friends. It's a good way that we can just sit and talk and chit chat and then have fun while I'm doing stuff and aggressively shooting things on video games.
There's a vibe and a theme going on there.
Slightly.
Now, Sammy, I know we haven't met your character yet, but do you want to give us a little sneak peek? Do you
Yeah.
have something in your brain?
Yeah, so they have one of those camping coffee makers, like the ones that you can just kind of put directly in the fire pit to make your coffee. So much like myself, Adalorn has ADHD, where caffeine has a calming effect. So if things get too much, a nice sip of caf.
Oh, you're gonna like our kitchen.
Yeah,
Stupid anxiety.
crippling coffee addiction is a recurring character feature of everyone I play.
Well, sometimes you have to inject something familiar.
Yeah,
you
all my
have-
characters are self-inserts, and that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out, I guess.
I wish caffeine was calming. It just feeds the anxiety, though.
Yeah.
It'll help focus the ADHD, but it'll feed the anxiety.
I'm lucky I don't have anxiety. My daughter has it, so she's medicated. But caffeine just makes me tired.
Caffeine does nothing for me until it overdoses and makes me feel unwell. So it is what it is.
Caffeine helps me feel alive, base level.
But you know what? Coffee tastes good. So there's that.
Yes.
And Darda, I don't know, do you want to pick a character? You've got a handful, obviously, since you're the GM. And then anything you want to bring to the table?
I mean, for characters, Z would be making those silly little bets. Mostly because they have been observing, Z is old. So, especially for a Cheddarfin, Z has seen a lot. He's been with ISR since probably the recovery from the Naboo invasion. So, he has an idea of how people are going to react, and he has been very seeing how people fit those models. As people come in, it's like, oh yeah, this person's going to do this person's going to do that. And then generally just sort of making joking bets with Hookman about it. But then that grew. Then, Hookman, he is very much the kind of guy who is going to... Well, he's got two different things, depending on which way he's looking at it. One is he will tear down an engine and rebuild it, as if the ship isn't planning on going anywhere for a bit, back at base, he will rebuild the engine because it's something he can do. And it's there's a set list of parts. It comes apart this way and it goes back together this way. It's kind of like Kedra and the gun and cleaning the gun. With him, it's an engine. I know that this thing's going to work because, well, I know it works. I've taken it apart and put it back together. And when he also has always been a supply chain person. I can't remember the actual word that is circling in my head.
Quartermaster.
Yeah, that's what he does. He will be keeping track of all the different little dark corners that people will be selling things in. How trustworthy are these people? Are these people just going to be scamming? That sort of stuff. Keeping his ear to the ground, knowing who needs what and sort of figuring out where in the Great River, as Nog would say, where everything is. And yeah, Trellway is just sort of trying to figure out where everything is, so he's just snooping on his communications board.
Sometimes staying in your lane is comforting.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say a lot of different things on comms. And normally that doesn't really matter. But in Star Wars, a lot of comms aren't encrypted. So if someone's just happening to be listening there, well, you can listen in. It's nice, easy.
There's a reason Vadalorn's job exists.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, no. Trellway's just snooping on everyone. Like, he was an engineer in the Imperial Navy. Really locked down, like, the whole kitchen thing just kind of intimidates him. Because, like, on Imperial Star Destroyers, or frigates as he was on, people at his rank got served slop. Like, something that makes porridge look the highest class of meal. He's sort of trying to transition away from military life, which is always hard. As for me, I don't know. Things get too much so much that it becomes hard to calm at times.
It's kind of why we make our silly little stories, huh?
Yeah.
To cope.
Yeah.
Create that bright spark if you can't find it elsewhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's more or less everything. Technically, Adam did ask a question about crossing the Empire crossing a line to make them fight back, but I feel like you guys kind of referenced how that would go. So is there anything you folks want to ask each other?
I got one. Coffee orders so I could stop guessing when I do those jokes.
No, but it's so exciting to see what you come up with.
I can come up with so much. It's ridiculous. I go to too many coffee shops.
Friend. If you reference the Google Doc, that's all of our questions and answers. You will find that in there.
Wait, was coffee order one of them? I thought it wasn't.
Yes.
Well, I have homework now.
If we're winding down, we are winding down. And I want to thank everybody for letting me back on and letting me poke at y'all.
Oh, I like you poking at us.
Thank everybody that offered questions. You know, Hurley, Filbert, Adam, London Louise. Well, the future is out there. But for right now, I think we're going to say goodnight. Unless somebody has something to add.
I just want to say thank you for coming on and helping us out because you do a great job.
Yeah.
You folk are fun stuff.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydean Way. You can find show updates at linktree/The Hydean Way, and you can find me on the socials at Deuterium Ice.
You can find me, Erica, and all of my mercenary work at linktree/Erica Goodwitch.
You can find me, Henry, everywhere as at SimDisorder with one Y and one I in that order.
And you can find me, Joy, at The Other Place Podcast Season 2 as Talana, and live on Twitch.tv as Joyfully Meet, number 2, playing a variety of games.
You can find me on Blue Sky at goddesssami.itch.io with one fewer S's than you might think.
I need to see that written out because my brain cannot comprehend what you're saying there, Sammy. But I am Leslie at LesletGS, riding the struggle bus. Gonna go take a nap. But I am around.
And we're all at theheidiandway.com, where you can find previous episodes and previous seasons.
You can find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Plus, you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
You can holocom us at heroes@theheidiandway.com. You can find merch at tpublic.com/user/theheidiandway.
If you like what we do and want to support the show, you can with a CAF subscription at code-fee.com. That's the Hattie and Way. Please do.
XP time?
Yeah, you did say you do it on the night.
I have so much. No. What would I spend XP on?
I have things to spend my XP on. I need more force powers.
Maybe medicine?
Let's say
Since we don't have a new medic?
let's say jump career skills.
But I already have 2 there.
Max something out.
Don't worry, I'm mediocre. I'm gonna be mediocre at everything. It's gonna be great.
That's honestly one of my bad habits, is getting excited about having lots of different skills rather than actually getting good at anything specifically.
Could take contraption for 20 XP.
Also, to help you, Leslie, you spell it like goddess Emmy. So, it has 2 S's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Goddess Sammy was taken.
I think the problem is
I
I'm
looked that person up first, and I was like, I don't think this is Sammy.
I'm a very visual thinker, so I struggled with sim disorder for a long time as well, because I just heard it said and it didn't click.
I should probably change that after a while, because that's just a reference from what's called She-Hulk.
The name or the way you say it?
The way I say it.
Okay.